Hi, everybody. Welcome to this LDx. I am sharing on the leadership styles of Jesus and how to lead like Jesus. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Belinda Chaplin. I am originally from South Africa, and I have been living and working here in Bosnia and Herzegovina for 23 years. I have these beautiful pictures in my living room here in Bosnia, little slice of Africa, but also as a reminder to be every day more like Jesus. You can see the pictures are of Jesus and his disciples, and just to be reminded of the fact that we are trying to be transformed every day to be more like him. And last year, I actually completed a training on being a biblical disc practitioner, and it's run by an organization called Lead Like Jesus, and so I was really impacted by that, and the thought that actually my leadership needs to be transformed to be more like Jesus and to follow the way that he used to do things, his leadership styles. And so I want to share a little bit of that insight today. And I'm going to be looking a bit at the DISC model as well. But the main point that I want to bring across is that to lead like Jesus, to be transformed, to be more like him in our leadership, there are some things that we need to do. We need to be able to know who we are. We need to know who we're leading. And then we need to be adapting to be able to lead them better. According to the different styles of behavioral preferences that we have. I hope it'll be more clear as I carry on. So the DISC research model actually shows evidence that it supports this conclusion that the most effective people are those who actually know themselves, and they can recognize the demands of a situation and adjust and change their behavior. And that those ones that can do that have the best chance to meet the needs of any given opportunity. So if you know your behavior, but you don't know the behavior style of your people, you won't be able to adapt to them. And one of the things that we see, and it was interesting because the person who put the biblical disc together, the whole program that they run, is actually he went through the Bible and looked at every time that Jesus was leading somebody to try and figure out if Jesus was a D, an I, an S, or a C. We're going to come to those now. That's the DISC model. And he realized that Jesus actually was none of them and all of them. So he would be a D for those people that needed a D. He'd be an S for the people that needed an S. He was constantly adapting to the situation. And as it says now on the slide, Jesus adapted. He did it perfectly. He was our perfect role model in how to adapt his behavior to fit the needs of every situation. So let's just quickly go over what is the DISC for those of you that don't know, and a reminder for those of you that do. The DISC has got 4 aspects to it, 4 different behavioral styles or preferences. The D is the dominant or the doer, the developer. They like to be in charge. They develop the mission. They enjoy a challenge, and they love to jump in action. They're like the lion. The I's are our influencers. They are our people that love to network. They relate well with people. They full of ideas. They love the team. They want to have fun. They're like the dolphins, going together with lots of people all the time. The S's are our steady team players. They're easygoing. They're patient. They're like the Saint Bernard. They are committed. They're building warm friendships, and they're so loyal. The C's are our conscientious implementers. They love to be organized. They love developing plans and having details. They create the structure, and they put work before play. And an interesting thing for me when I was doing the whole training for the biblical disc was that there's actually a way that you can know very quickly who you are and who you're working with through just looking at 2 aspects of people's behavior. So this is one of the ways that we can actually quickly get a reading on someone's behavioral style, just to look at their pace and their priority. So what do I mean by that? When you're looking at the D and the I's, they are both faster paced, whereas the S's and the C's are very moderately paced. And then the priority for the D's and the C's is the task. They need to get things done, whereas the S and the I's are more people oriented. So if you've got someone who's faster paced and task oriented, they're very likely to be a strong D. If someone is moderately paced and people oriented, they're more likely to be an S, and so on and so forth. So it's an interesting way just to quickly see, okay, this is what I am and this is what someone else is. And so, for instance, I previously, when I lead team meetings, I know that I'm a D, I want to get things done, I just want to tick things off my list. But I know that other people want to take time to spend chatting and catching up. And the other people want to know more details. The other people want to, there's different priorities within a team setting. And so as a leader, I need to be able to adjust. It doesn't mean that I change myself, but I adjust the way that I do a team meeting, for instance. So, for instance, some people aren't quick at making decisions. They want to have time to know all of the different options and spend time thinking about each of them. So they're a bit more moderately paced. And so as a D, I would say, okay, we're gonna talk about everything this week. We're gonna have time to think about it, and the next time we meet, we'll make the decision. So instead of saying, okay, we're gonna talk about it and make the decision right away, I'm giving those more moderately placed people time to think and get understand the decision better. So that's how you can adapt your style to to the people and to the situation. So just to look at how we can lead like Jesus. As I think I've said already, we need to know our own behavioral style. We need to know who we are. And I've given you a really quick overview. But hopefully, if you want to go deeper, there's ways, tools that you can do that. And I'm not saying the DISC is the only way. There's the Myers-Briggs. There's there's other ones out there that you can understand your styles, your preferences. But then we need to be able to understand the people we're leading or the people we're working with, what their style or what their preference is, and how we can then adapt our ways of leading and adapt the way that we do things to their needs and the need of the situation. So I'm going to end off with a story. I think I'm going to actually stop sharing. And just how I actually messed up this week in this exact I was preparing this talk, and I was in a situation where I have two teams that I'm leading right now. there's a short-term team that's here, and I'm just helping them do things and they were helping us to do things. So I just needed to go, okay, you need to do that, you need to do that. And my D was coming out very much because that's what we needed in that situation. And I went straight from that situation into our more long-term team here. And I carried on being the D. And it wasn't needed in that situation. I actually needed to sit back, be more moderately paced, to adjust the way that I did things, just like Jesus did, to whoever he was doing and whatever he was doing. And I didn't. I completely messed up. And I just praise the Lord because of I was doing this teaching, when people came to me and said, in that meeting, we didn't need you to be like that. You needed to be like the Belinda that you normally are in a meeting. And I realized what had happened because I knew I had gone from one situation where I needed to be the person telling everyone what to do, and got into this next meeting thinking that's what I needed to be. And so, yeah, I totally asked for forgiveness and we sorted it out. And I think it's opened my eyes to see, okay, I need to be switched on to this. This is not something that I can just be, or a D in every situation. I do need to be changing the way that I do things according to the situation. So I want to challenge you with that. Figure out who you are. That's self-awareness. And Jesus knew that. He knew he was in every situation, but he then was able to be the person that other person needed him to be. And so I hope this is encouraging to you as you try and figure out your leadership style and how you can become more like Jesus in his leadership style. So bless you. Have a great month and enjoy the rest of the resources here on the ELRC.